everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how I get these nice, loose, beachy kind of bedhead curls. So if you want to know what products I use and what tools I use, then just keep watching. Alright, so the first thing that I do right after I get out of the shower is put this R&Co High Dive Moisture and Shine Cream. I put that on my damp hair and then I just kind of towel dry it and let it air dry completely. So that's what I did this morning, and this is kind of how my hair naturally air dries. Doesn't really have too much life to it, just kind of limp and frizzy. So I like to use a straightener to get my curls, and I've been using the Paul Mitchell straightener for a few months now. So this is what I'll be using to get kind of my beachy waves. So before I start curling my hair, I like to put some kind of heat protectant in. The one I've been using lately is this Surface Bassu Oil. So it's a hydrating oil, but it also adds some shine and adds some heat protector. Also, I find that it helps with any of like my dry ends. So I just put a little bit on my hands and then just run it mostly on the bottom half of my hair, focusing kind of at my ends. After I've done that, I take my two sections and I just pin this one just out of the way, just because I like to do one half of my head at a time. So I usually do pretty big sections just so I can get some nice big waves in, and then at the end I go in and add a few smaller pieces to get kind of more of a textured look. So I take pieces about this big, and then I take my straightener and I just give it a quick run through just to kind of flatten out any flyaways and just kind of smooth it. And then I take it kind of like vertical like that, and I give it one full turn. And then I slide it down, and then I kind of just leave the ends out a bit. So I get just like a nice loose wave like that. And like I said, then I go back at the end and kind of tighten up any ones that seem like a little too loose. Then I just find that I get some looser curls and some tighter curls. Like I said, I'm no hairdresser. I'm not a professional at this at all. This is just what I do personally. So then this time I'm going to take a bit of a smaller piece, maybe. So I'll take a piece about that size now. And I just kind of like alternating between bigger pieces, smaller pieces, and then same thing, just give it one good kind of smooth and then hold it vertical and then just pull down, leaving about 2 inches out at the end. And then I just kind of give it a twirl and throw it back. I don't touch any of my curls until the very end, then I'll brush them out, and that's when I'll kind of stylize them. Do one more so you can kind of see, and then I'll give you a little bit of a fast forward. So smoothing it out at the top, clamping it down, giving it one full turn, and then sliding it all the way down. I like to go usually all in the same direction. Sometimes I know people will alternate between doing it one way and then the other way, and that'll kind of give you even more beachy waves. But I personally just like to do it this way. So yeah, kind of twisted it while it was cooling and then throw it back. And then I just keep going. So the only thing I do different is once I get to the front of my hair, I just kind of hold my straightener at a different angle just so I get more volume kind of at the front, and it gives kind of more of like a swoop look instead of just like a ringlet kind of feel. So what I do is I actually hold it, instead of holding it this way and curling, I go from up top and hold it under. And then it gives just like a bit more volume and a bit more of like a swoop look. So same thing, just gonna kind of let it cool and do its thing. I'm not gonna touch it or brush it out or anything. And then I'll do this one like that as well. Cool, so yeah. I'm gonna let those kind of fall and do its thing, and then I'll do the other side, and then I'll show you how I kind of texture them and style them from here. Okay, so I just finished curling this side of my hair and kind of have let my curls just cool down a little bit so they're nice and set. The next thing I do is I just kind of run my fingers through them and loosen up the curls, and then from there I can see if there's any curls that need a little bit more texture, if there's any ones that look a little flat, or if there's curls that look a little too curled, then I'll kind of go in and play with them. I'm pretty lucky, my hair has some pretty good texture to it to begin with. I get quite a bit of volume naturally, so I don't have to work too hard to get them to stay. My curls last forever in my hair, but sometimes my problem is they get too curly. So I'll show you just how I fix some pieces. So for me right now, I find that these are just a little bit too tight for my face. I like them a bit softer. So I'm gonna go back in with that straightener. And what I do is I just kind of take the pieces that I want to fix, and I'm just gonna kind of flatten them a little bit. I'm not going over them completely, just kind of pressing them down to flatten them out a bit. I'm gonna do that on this side as well. So yeah, not completely straightening them out, but just softening them a little bit. And then what I'll do as well is if I find that I'm lacking a little bit of volume here, I'll go in and just give a few little curls, just to kind of give it a bit more volume at the top of my hair. So I'll take just kind of little pieces like this, and I'll start really close to the root around there, give it a pull, and then slide it down, and then just leave a few inches off. So see how I just get a little bit more volume here? So I'll just do that for a few pieces around my head. So I find by just adding a few extra pieces at the top, it kind of just gives more of like a beachy wave and a little bit more of like a messy feel. Okay, so I'm just making sure that the curls are kind of how I want them. At the end, sometimes I like them a bit straighter so my hair looks a little longer. So sometimes I'll go in with my flat iron, and same thing that I did before, just kind of push down on it to flatten out some pieces so I get more of like a piecey look. I don't like when all of my curls are like one uniform curl, so that's why sometimes I go in and just kind of play with them just to get some extra texture. So just kind of flattening out some areas but adding curls to other areas. It really doesn't take me too long. I feel like to get this whole hair look, it takes me about like 10 minutes when I'm doing it fast. And I find that I like this curl even better the second day, like after kind of sleeping in it, I get a really nice messy bedhead look. So now for my favorite part, I'm gonna go in and use some product. I find that product can really take your hair from like looking good to looking really good. So one of my favorites is this R&Co Trophy texture spray. I like this one because it's a shine and texture spray, so it doesn't give you that like gritty feeling that a lot of texture sprays can give you. So what I do is I just take my hair and I put it all to one side, and I just spray it kind of from the bottom up just to really get it kind of more on my like ends and the whole hair instead of just at the root. And I kind of take my hands and just kind of like scrunch it and mess it and play with it. I'll do the other side and same thing, just kind of give it a spray it from underneath. And yeah, just really kind of like messing it up, running my fingers through it. I don't know, I really like big messy bedhead hair. And I kind of almost like pull apart my curls and then spray it. I find that I really get a lot of volume that way, and then my hair looks even bigger. So then I kind of go back and we'll get it where I like to part it. Then I usually go back in one more time with that surface oil, and same thing, just put a little bit down on my ends just to keep them nice and shiny and healthy. And I'll kind of help smooth out any flyaways, anything like that. And then sometimes, depending if I need this to last all day or if it's like windy out, things like that, I'll put a little bit of hairspray in. Like I said, my hair has pretty good natural volume, so I don't usually have to do any like back combing or hairspray too much. But when I do use hairspray, I use this B&B Rock On Flexible Hold Spray. I like hairspray that has a bit more of a natural hold, so it's not too like crunchy or stiff feeling. And I put my hands underneath my hair to kind of give it some volume, and then I'll spray it, and that just kind of helps give it a bit more of a pushed up look. So there you have it. There's my everyday kind of curl routine. Let me know if you like these kind of videos that are a little bit different than just makeup related. And if you do, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe.